Welcome back, everybody. Sorry for being a couple minutes late and just completely forgot that the first Saturday of every month at 1 o'clock p.m., the tornado sirens go off around here. So didn't want you guys to think that there was a zombie apocalypse happening here in Michigan, but no, I just thought I would spare you the sirens in the background. But welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is United Verse. Everybody, I am your host, Sean, and we are back with another match preview. Hate to break it to you, though, but I don't know if you know this, but Liverpool did win the league, unfortunately. We just missed it, you guys. Just missed out. We had them right to the end. Right? But in any case, we have 4 fixtures remaining in the league, 4 fixtures remaining to endure before this shit show of a season ends and the nightmare is over. We actually still have, it's funny, we have the Europa League final. Well, hopefully we have the Europa League final before we even finish the season, because there's still another match after that. But despite our best efforts to fluff every chance we had against Bournemouth, we managed to come away with a point on the road. So that was awesome. Coming off the back of a 3-0 victory on the road in the first leg of the Europa League semifinal against Bilbao as well. So you could say a little bit of momentum going into this one, perhaps. But we are here to preview the third away match on the bounce, by the way. This is third in a row, but we do travel to face Brentford tomorrow morning. So we face a team who are more than capable of piling on our misery. They've got a lot of heavy hitters in that squad. They're doing pretty well. So we do have some things to look out for. That's what we're here to take a look at, how we can best put ourselves in a position to get something from that match. So we're going to do that. We're going to look at a little bit of the news. We're going to dive into all that today. In case you haven't seen it, though, championship season wrapped up, or at least the season proper wrapped up, because there are still playoffs and whatnot for those teams. But Leeds United and Burnley are confirmed. Both finished their season on 100 points, which is insane. So 6-pointers against Leeds next season. So the teams in the playoffs are going to be Sheffield United, Sunderland, Coventry City, and Bristol City are all vying for that third spot for promotion. So you let me know in the chat who you'd like to see get promoted alongside Leeds and Burnley. Is anybody you like to not see out of those 4? Anybody you really hoping? I think a lot of people said Bristol last time we talked about that. Would be kind of cool to see Sunderland back. I think what that's going to do is it's going to make someone like Chris Rigg or Joe Bellingham very, very expensive. But we will see how it goes. So before we get started, everyone, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new. Don't forget to go check out memberships to learn how you can get more involved in the channel. If you want to get some cool United jerseys, even some vintage ones, you can use the code in the video description to go get $5 off your first order at GoGoalShop as well. Tons of jerseys on there. You guys have seen me wear them. They're excellent. And if you are so inclined, you can also go check out the UVE store up live right now, where you can see there's tons of options here, a bunch of different colors. We got hoodies, we got t-shirts, we got crews, we got everything. We got the Madness shirts going on. We've got the Class of 92 shirts going on. I really like this one, this United kind of cursive handwriting. This one's pretty cool too, but tons of stuff on there right now. Go check it out. As you can see, this one's cool. You guys saw me wearing this one yesterday as well. Go check that out. Tons and tons of stuff on there. Always keep a lookout. You never know when some new designs might pop up, and you never know when there could be a sale popping up. I do try my best to let you know when there is a sale popped up. I don't always check the back end of the store on a daily basis, because there's just a lot going on. But go check that out too if you guys want to get your hands on something kind of like the green and gold shirt that I'm wearing today. I just realized I was wearing that. Yeah, this is a classic. I do like this one a lot. So feel free to go check that out when you get a second. How's everyone doing today? Saturday morning. Everybody enjoying their Saturday? Anybody watch any football today? I watched a little bit of the Burnley match. I wanted to do some scouting on a Burnley player. You guys saw me mention him, CJ Egan Riley. Mentioned him in that scouting report I did last week. And then I was watching a little bit of Reading and some of the League One sides as they try to. There's like the points in Championship and in League One for promotion and whatnot. The points were very tight right now for those playoff spots. So A lot of teams had there was literally like a point separating like 4 spots. So it's crazy today. Let's see who's jumping in here. See who's joining us this morning. Big up, Rob. Good to see you again, my friend. Hope you are doing well. Says hello, all United fans. Sanjay able to jump in the beginning of a video this time. No, we love you, man. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good Saturday morning / a snake pit in a minute. Good to see you, my guy. Hope you are doing well. Rob says he can't support Bristol. Is there a rival to my hometown, Cardiff, who got relegated? Oh, Cardiff got relegated. Interesting. Yeah, tons and tons of stuff going on. Like I said, maybe Sunderland would be cool to see back. Haven't seen them in a while. Their story since going down a couple leagues has been pretty cool to see. Danny involved. Good to see you, man. How is everyone's Saturday going? And, of course, Teresa, welcome back. Good to see everybody jumping in. Let me know if you guys are watching any football this morning. Like I said, I was just watching some lower league stuff. But speaking of other football, the under-18s played Stoke yesterday, and they ended up running out 4-0 winners. Nearly had a very, very early goal from Thwaite. Did really well to drop a shoulder and then find Musa. But we ended up, like I said, coming out winners. Musa had himself a couple goals. J.J. Gabriel had an excellent goal. Could have had 2. One came off the crossbar. And then back off Baumann to go rebound into the net. But yeah, Gabriel came on, took his second chance well a couple minutes later and ended up making it 4-0. The kid looks dangerous. Remember, this kid is 14, 15, and he's playing under 18s. He came on 60 some odd minute, looked very, very, very good. Musa's looking better and better after initially kind of struggling to fill that void left by Cheeto. I think that Musa's found a role. I think the coach has finally found a role for Musa. And once we stopped trying to play Musa like we were playing Cheeto and giving him a little bit more room to run, finding him a little earlier and letting him kind of do a little bit more work to create for himself, I think that's kind of hit the sweet spot. But it's paying off in dividends. He's got like 15 goals now, Musa, doing very, very well. Thwaite, I thought Thwaite ran the show. He was all over the place. He was dropping deep to collect the ball and kind of dictate. He was carrying the ball. A couple instances where he's just dropping the shoulder and just driving forward. He was finding people in the box. Thwaite's had a very good game, I thought. Probably man of the match for me. And I think that he looks so technical, Thwaite, and he looks a level above the under 18s. I'd like to see him maybe get some U21 minutes going into next season. But the future looks bright if you guys have been watching the academy. Yeah, like Danny says, the kid is absolute fire, Gabriel. Do whatever we can to get this kid locked down and protect that future because he looks very, very good. Very similar to Garnacho in the way he kind of plays a little bit, likes to cut inside, likes to shoot on that right. But his shooting is better, I will say. But big up, everyone. Let's get looking at the latest transfer rumors. Please hit that like button for me. Please subscribe to the channel. Let's talk about an update on United's reported interest in soon-to-be free agent Jonathan Tah. Now, this latest update is coming from Florian Plettenberg, a.k.a. Plettigol, on Twitter. And he says, Manchester United have entered the race for Jonathan Tah. Want to sign him on a free transfer this summer. Now, we talked about that a little bit the other day, but Plettigol goes on forward and says United have actually held talks with his management, along with Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and Real Madrid. Now, I read a lot about Bayern Munich for Tah. Makes sense. German, free. It is what it is. Real Madrid, I think that could be a shrewd piece of business for them. Remember, they did get Rudiger on a free from Chelsea when his contract expired, and he's been one of their best signings in years. Tah looks very, very good as well. Don't forget Bashali's out there rolling around as well. So and I think CJ Egan-Riley, I think his contract might be up in the summer as well, and he's just 22. So a lot of options out there. Barcelona obviously struggling financially. They could do with a free signing. So we talked a little bit about this. I think Danny and I both said we still take Bashali personally. Younger, left-footed, a little better on the ball, but like I said, Plettigol is saying that we are actually already holding talks. So could be interesting little development. We'll see how that one goes. Sticking with center backs, though. So this is coming from Sam Wallace with The Telegraph. Now, he's given us an update on one center back who's already at the club, Mr. Heredona, Mr. Heredinho. whatever you want to call him after his heroics. I found that I made sure to use a good picture. But Sam Wallace with the Telegraph reports that Harry Maguire wants a new contract at Manchester United beyond the end of next season and would ideally like to finish his career at Old Trafford. Now, we kind of knew that of the three that were looking like they were going to be leaving this summer, between Lindelof, Evans, and Maguire, we kind of knew from a couple months now that it was probably going to be Maguire out of those three who was probably going to stick around and make sense. I never really did we get 100% confirmation that he did extend his contract. I know that there was talk about it. Ruben Amorim was kind of talking about it a little bit, but I don't know if we ever got like 100% confirmation on that. If someone did, if we did get confirmation, let me know in the chat. I just can't remember off the top of my head. Danny, to answer your question, I think Ta does play in the center of the midfield, the back three, with Nkapie and Mukiele on the right-hand side. So to answer your question, I saw that. I was looking it up on SofaScore and stuff now. So Danny says, take a wage cut. Yeah, I mean, everybody got a wage cut already, right? No Champions League. And if there's no Champions League next year, it'd be the same. So that does factor in. And that's something that also, not only does that factor in for the players and their financial situation, it factors into us either way too. We could save money if we're not in Champions League. Obviously, that's not ideal. But then got to remember, if we get into Champions League, these players are getting their money back. So we have to budget for that as well. Rob says 3-year deal for Ta would be good. Big lad. Yeah, he is a big dude. He is a unit. He's despite him being so big, he's actually pretty good on the ball. If you look at his numbers for ball progression, he is a little bit more modern in that ideal. Like his heat map is like from his box to the midfield line. It's just a big blob. So Danny says, honestly, just let him go after next season. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Maybe let him go back to Sheffield United or something. Maybe go back to Leicester for all I know. Teresa says, I really don't want to be negative. I can't understand how everyone is expecting expensive transfers when we all been told they don't want to go down past mistakes. It really makes no sense. Yeah, no, I understand. I mean, I don't think anybody here is clamoring for the expensive signings. In fact, I've said many times, if you look at my summer rebuild video that I did a couple weeks back, I did that on a budget, and I didn't end up spending more than like 130 or 135 million, and a couple players were free transfers. And I've said many times, there's a reason I don't think we're going to be getting guys like Osimhen or whatnot. They're just expensive. Not only the initial signing, but like the wages, the bonuses and stuff. It's just an expensive package. Osimhen would be the same as like getting Casemiro, just that expensive fee, weekly wages and stuff. It's hard. No, I hear you. I mean, there's probably a lot of people online. I've already seen all these people, like a player is going to like Chelsea or something, or Leverkusen. There's a young center back from PSG going to Leverkusen, 17-year-old. And I've already seen these people online, like tagging United. Like, why aren't we looking at them? Like, just because a player that you like or another club is signing a player doesn't mean that Ineos are doing a shit job just because we're not in form. We can't be in for everybody. That's just not going to work. So again, Ineos, Barada, Wilcox, Amorim, they're going to make their decisions. They're going to prioritize. They're going to look at what they want. They're going to make their targets, and it's going to reflect on them, what happens. So hopefully we get things done early. Hopefully we get what we need. And hopefully we do have some money to work with some player sales. But I hear you, Teresa. Don't worry. Rob says, Harry won't get one as Amorim doesn't like playing wingers. He's the best winger we've had in a while. Teresa says, Amorim doesn't rely on experience. I mean, he gets a good little mixture. Amorim, he had like Sebastian Coates in defense at Sporting for a while, and he's an older center back as well. Gyökeres is not young either. Who's the guy? Gonçalves. Gonçalves is not young by any stretch. He's 25, 26 or something. So there's a healthy mixture of age and experience. But I think with Amorim, it's more about personality and attitude, what you are in the dressing room kind of thing. Danny says, we won't get Ta. He goes to Madrid or Bayern. Yeah, I doubt we will. If reports from coming from Foreign Plantenberg are true, though, maybe we've reached out. And sometimes that doesn't necessarily mean that we're like, hey, we want to sign you. Sometimes it's just keep us updated. What is it you're looking for? What, like, those kind of things. What, or even just like, hey, where are you kind of leaning towards in terms of your summer plans? Is there a chance? Would you be interested? There's a lot going on, so we'll see what happens. But Rob said Harry's been getting injured more. He's not going to be top level in 26, 27. So a no from me. Yeah, I mean, retiring here is interesting because he could probably do a job. But like you say, he is picking up more and more injuries these last few seasons. I mean, remember his first couple seasons, he was never injured. He played, remember on that Ollie, he played like every match besides the Europa League final. But Father Time is undefeated. You will eventually start to pick up more and more injuries. The rust will build up a lot more quickly. It does start taking you a little longer to recover. I feel it when I play after. I've got to adjust the way I do things, both prep, recovery, stretching, all that stuff now. And that's just me making sure that I can continue to play for as long as I can. It's not going to last forever, though. I can only fight it for a certain amount of time. Teresa says, need to ask a question. How come everyone knows what wages everyone is on? Isn't that private? Not necessarily. You can go to like Capology or Transfer Market or something. Capology does a really good breakdown of your wages, your week, your bonuses, things like that. So it's not all private. It just depends now how 100% accurate. I couldn't tell you because it'll still tell you Anthony's on a certain amount, and some people say Anthony's not. So take it with a grain of salt as always. But the only thing that really should be private is your like injury stuff and like health related stuff, because that's private health information. So but yeah, I use Capology when I'm looking at the wages and things to see what people are on. And then that, like I said, tells you bonuses too. So when people say, such and such is on this much a week, well, they're not necessarily on that much a week. That's how you're including bonuses in that. And honestly, if the player is earning the bonuses, that means they're doing well. So no one's going to complain. It's kind of like when people use the whole transfer fee to talk about Rasmus Højlund. Like, he didn't cost us 72 million. He cost us like 63, 64. If he does go up to 72, that's because we've won stuff. And if we win stuff, no one's going to care about another 6, 7, 8 million. So, but I hear you. It's hard to know. Like with anything, you never know. Just take it with a grain of salt. But if you're asking honestly where people are finding that information, Capology, Transfer Market, that's where I find it at least. So, Ricardo, welcome back. Ricardo, big up, man. Hope you're doing well. Lionheart's in the house as well. Hope you're doing well, Lionhearts. We're just going through some transfer news right here. Ricardo says Gyökeres earns just over 1 million euros. Yeah, Gyökeres is not on high wages. You're going to have to like double his wages, honestly. Same with someone like an Osimhen. I think like even Cunha, you're going to have to pay it. That's just the way it is when a player gets to a certain age, because you have to beat out other interested parties. And so unfortunately, but again, even if you're doubling some of these players' wages, it comes nowhere near, it's going to be like around 200K a week. So, but yeah, Gyökeres, that was a reason I would prefer Gyökeres over someone like Osimhen, because Osimhen's already on high wages. Gyökeres is not. Danny says, any news on anyone moving for Bashali? I still have not seen anything, man. I got nothing. He's got his contract. I mean, as far back as like November, Dortmund were linked, but I mean, Dortmund literally just signed Schlotterbeck like 2 seasons ago. Brighton have been linked. Yeah, I've not seen anything since November, man. So it's pretty hush hush. I'm not sure what that means, if that means anything good or not. But yeah, I have not heard anybody linked since November. Rob says, I once worked for HMRC. I don't know what that means, and saw a few Chelsea players. Can't remember the year, but Ian Wright's son had not long moved there. Interesting. I don't know what HMRC. Someone let me know what that means. Teresa says, oh, I don't care. It's just crap. It's all out there. And if it's false, it's even worse. Yeah, some journos do know things. And like I said, some of it, to a degree, it's public. It's just, you never know. But yeah, I hear you. Tax office. Interesting. So you give us the inside scoop on player finances, right? So yeah, sounds like Harry Maguire reportedly wanting to retire at United. Interesting stuff. I don't know how I feel about that. It seems like we know how you guys all feel about that. So you guys keep letting me know in the chat. Lionheart says, like the video. Let's show this man the live service. I appreciate it, man. Big up. Yes, we are on the road to 3K as well. For anyone new out there who wants to hit that subscribe button too to get us on the road to 3K, it does help the channel. It does help more and more people get exposed to the channel, and then it helps the UVE community grow, which is only good for everybody because we get more people in here, things like that. So we spoke yesterday about Antony. Remember, we talked about that report that Atletico Madrid were interested in him and that we were reportedly holding out for 40 to 50 million. I think it was the price that was thrown out there. But whether it's Atletico Madrid who swoop in at the last minute or Real Betis who want to fork over the cash and make him a permanent addition to the squad, a move away from Old Trafford does sound like it's going to be a sure thing for Antony. Fabrizio Romano reported that Christopher Vivell was actually at Real Betis' match against Fiorentina in the Conference League. Remember, Betis won, Antony scored. So he's meeting, whether this is just monitoring the players that we've got right now, like Antony. I mean, he's literally the only one we have. Or if he's there doing some scouting, meeting with some agents, maybe he's meeting with Real Betis regarding Antony. Maybe the links to Cardoso weren't far-fetched. Maybe that's something we're actually looking at. Who knows? But according to Romano, Vivell was at that match. So it's interesting stuff. We'll see if anything comes of that. I know a lot of you like Cardoso. We spoke about him last week when we were linked. Good numbers. Very defensive. He seems like a very similar to Ugarte kind of player. I don't watch a lot of Betis. I'm only looking at a lot of the numbers and then the little that I've actually seen of him. But U.S. international as well. So that could be, that's a factor that is considered when it comes to ownership and stuff, broadening the market. I mean, look what, Sonny did for Spurs and the South Korean fan base. That's massive for them. And I think we're already the biggest club in the world in that regard. But I think that branching off in the U.S., especially amidst a decade or so of Liverpool, City, kind of even Chelsea to an extent, dominance, I think that that's definitely something that Ineos will probably have on their list of considerations, if that makes sense. Then he says, Johnny Cardoso looks good enough on small amounts I've seen. Okay, big up. Yeah, like I said, I don't watch a ton of La Liga. I just can't bring myself a whole lot to watch leagues that are like 1-2 team leagues, Farmers League. I don't watch French League. I don't watch La Liga a whole lot. And so it's just not interesting. It's almost like it's like watching Marvel movies now that they've got all these alternate timelines and no one's ever really dead. Anyone can just be there's no stakes when I'm watching Liga or La Liga. You can almost argue that for the Premier League in the last couple of years as well. But I mean, when there's not really stakes, there's not really that excitement, that thrill. Not like today, watching League One, watching the Championship, the 3rd through 6th, 7th, 8th place spots had 1 or 2 point gaps. That was high stakes. Anything can happen on the swing of a goal anywhere around the ground. So that stuff's fun. But yeah, I'll try to watch more of Cardoso. But we'll see. It's interesting that Vivell was there. I don't know who else he would be looking at. I'm trying to think off the top of my head any more Real Betis players. I can't think of anyone else at Betis. Maybe Fiorentina. Is anybody at Fiorentina that's maybe we're bringing De Gea back? Who knows? Or maybe he's going to talk with De Gea and his agent about doing some sort of a special thing for him when he comes back at the end of the summer. Remember, we end our preseason tour hosting Fiorentina at Old Trafford, so we'll get a little bit of reunion with David De Gea. Honestly, speaking of Old Trafford, I'm not even going to lie. My crazy ass yesterday or Thursday after we beat Bilbao, I literally went online and started looking at flights because we have the second leg at home and then we host West Ham that Sunday. And I was like, it's only a week out. I could find an Airbnb, and the match tickets aren't expensive. Thankfully my wife had to kind of reel me back in. She's got a stupid wife. Why is she doing that? I hate her. Just let me dream. But it's fine. Now she's cool. But yes, I did look at that. So I had to be talked down from a ledge. But I was this close. It was very close. I saw a random bit of news that I wanted to get your thoughts on as well. So we know that United are a bit skint, right? PSR is limiting our activity because of poor recruitment over the last decade or so. Even Sir Jim, when he came in, we did that interview a couple months back saying like there was this much in the kitty, I had to inject this. We get all that. But we're not the only club that's struggling right now. Barcelona have been a financial shit show for years. I don't feel bad for them, mind you, just like I'm sure people don't feel bad for us. They dug their own hole, same as us, with poor recruitment and poor wages and signing fees. But they've been going heavy Barcelona on ways to get around that, from the levers, hosting weddings and stuff, naming stadium. Now it's Spotify Camp now, all that kind of stuff. They've been going on fourth kit releases and whatnot in an effort to kind of get a stranglehold on things. But yesterday, or maybe the day before, they released this jersey online. So I don't know. Someone tell me, because I'm old. Who is Travis Scott? Can someone tell me who Travis Scott is? Because I have no idea who this dude is. But they released apparently this limited edition Travis Scott jersey on their website, right? And they listed it for like 400 euros. At 400 euros, which I'm not even joking here. I'll share it with you right now, because I read this story and I was like, there's no way, this is insane. I'm going to put this on the screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So they released this shirt, right? And you can see it on here. It's 400 euros. They've got a signed one for 3,000 euros, which is insane. But anyway, they release these limited edition jerseys, so limited run, they're not like infinite. They sold out in a matter of hours, which meant they raked in about €1.5 million on Barcelona. And again, you can see they've got these signed ones. I don't even know who this cat is, but apparently they've sold this many jerseys. This is how old I am. But this isn't the first time that Barcelona have collaborated with somebody. Remember, they did that Coldplay shirt not that long ago as well. But so my question for you is, and the reason I wanted to discuss this with you guys is, how would you feel if United did something like that? Or like did something with like the Stone Roses or something in an official shirt? Or even like, how would you feel if we did like a fourth kit release throughout the season? A lot of clubs do that sometimes. We've sort of done stuff like that with like some of these retro kits, these re-releases that we've seen, like the 91, the Cup Winners' Cup, that they've released recently, or like the George Best series that they came out with earlier in the season. So we've done similar things, but why would you guys feel if we did like a 400-pound like limited edition shirt like that? It's not like it's raising a ton of money. Like $1.5 million is a drop in the ocean when it comes down to it, but it's still $1.5 million. But would you pay for a celebrity, for a limited edition celebrity shirt? Who better yet, who would you pay £400 to get a limited edition shirt for? Danny says he's some rapper. Yeah, it shows you I don't listen to rap anymore. So I haven't listened to rap since the mid 90s. So I have no idea. Rob says, is he a rapper? I think he was on Fortnite. I've never even played Fortnite. Could not even tell you. Something to do with music. Interesting. Leonard says, isn't he the drummer for Blink-182? No, that's Travis Barker. That I know because I grew up in the 90s, so I'm all over that. Rob says, Beckham 50 edition must have been something that they've looked at. That would have been pretty cool. Beck's limited edition, but so you guys are saying, nope, would not do it. No, I don't even spend the 125, 130 pounds on shirts. It's cool too. Like, it's not cool. It's just coincidental that maybe not. But if you go on the stadium tour, like through the museum and stuff, that the last stop on the tour, they bring you in through the megastore, through the back of the megastore and stuff. So you have to go through the megastore to get back out. They try to lure you in with like these you can get your photo taken and whatnot. Because you stop in the press room, so you get to go sit where all the journalists sit. And then if you paid a little extra, you get to have your photo taken sitting at the desk, basically where like Amorim and the managers do their press conferences. And then you can go get that photo if you want. Kind of like getting a photo on a roller coaster or whatever. But yeah, they lead you through the back door, through the mega store, and then you get to go see all the overpriced junk that's there. Ken Barlow, Coronation Street edition. See, that's a UK reference that I just don't get. I've heard people talk about Coronation Street. I could not tell you who it is. What's the other show that I've heard people? EastEnders, is that what that show's called? What is that? Is that like a comedy, like the what's the horses one? I've heard Beckham talk about the horse. I don't know what that is. See, this is stuff we don't have access to over here. Linder says, heck no, he wouldn't buy. I don't. Yeah, you guys know I get my stuff on eBay. A lot of the stuff I get on eBay is legit. It's just somebody else bought it from the club years ago before I bought it, and they don't want it anymore. And then I've got the GoGoalShop stuff. So there's that. Soap operas. There's soap operas. Huh? Yeah, I've never watched a soap opera in my life. I don't watch a ton of TV. There are a few shows that I do like. You guys know my favorite show is MASH. Hence the one of the shirt designs that I put on the UVE store kind of looks like a MASH shirt. But then like I watch Sons of Anarchy a lot. I love Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch. That's a good show too. I watched that a couple times throughout the year. Anyway, I saw that story about this limited run shirt that Barcelona had sold out, even though it was 400 pounds. They sold out in a matter of hours. And I thought that was insane. I don't even know who this cat is, and this dude's selling out shirts that much, but yeah, that's funny. So anyway, if you think of somebody that a limited edition shirt that you would pay 400 for, you guys let me know. Danny says all of UK and Ireland shut down for EastEnders and Coronation Street. I don't even know what that is, man. That's crazy. Soap operas, says Rob. Coronation Street is based in Manchester. Been running for 60 years, I think. Ken was in episode 1 and still going. Wow, must be a pretty old dude then. Interesting. Well, if it's based in Manchester, could be interesting. What's the other show that's Shameless? Is that a show that was based something? I don't remember now. No, I don't think it was based in Manchester. It's someplace else. Anyway, let's move on to this match because we do take on Brentford. We do travel to Brentford tomorrow. We're already traveling, but some people didn't make the trip. We're going to talk about that. But I do want your guys' help making an 11. So we're going to go through the positions and we're going to come up with a 11 that you guys want to see. So stick around for that. Sanjay says, I'm a Sopranos fan. You know, I've heard a lot of people talk about Sopranos, and I'm not dissing you. I tried to watch it, and I just couldn't get into it. I don't know what it was. Maybe I've been oversaturated with like Sons of Anarchy and stuff, or like Peaky Blinders, because it's all kind of the same, right? So it's like picking one. It's like a legal show or a cop show or a medical show. Like you kind of just pick one, and that's like your thing. They're all pretty much the same at the end of the day. So Danny says, great show, one of the best. Maybe it gets better later on. I don't know. I couldn't get into it. So Danny says, my wife loves it. She's Italian from Jersey. And does she point out things that are like inaccurate or stereotypical or anything? Rob says, love Breaking Bad. I've never watched Breaking Bad. That might be one that I might want to get into at some point. Interesting. Some of the shows I like just weren't around. For like Firefly is one of my favorites. It was only on for a season. I do like Anthony Bourdain's Parts Unknown is one of my favorites too, but I'm a bit of a dork in that regard. But so Brentford are currently in 11th, so not too far off us. They have 46 points, which is kind of where you expect Brentford to be in this league. I mean, no offense, it's just you expect them to, like Palace or something, you'd expect them to be a mid-table side or like a Fulham or something. But this has a lot more to do with their inconsistent form because, yes, they've got players who are doing well, but their form overall has been very, very inconsistent. They did just beat a tough Forest side 2-0, but they've got 2 wins in their last 5, 2 draws and 1 loss. So it's kind of hit or miss for them. But if you can believe it, their issue has been scoring goals. You know, it's just they're on a little bit of an uptick at the moment, but that probably doesn't bode well for us. They did put 4 past Brighton last weekend, but before that, it was just 1 against Arsenal. They didn't score at all against Chelsea. 1 when they lost to Newcastle as well. So, like I said, hit or miss, but they are kind of on an uptick right now. So, as far as United goes, I mean, do we really want to go through it all again? Nothing's really changing. We're just kind of like staying in the same spot. We're hovering in that 14th, 15th spot where we've been for weeks. 15th as of today, 1 win. That was Lyon in our last 5 in all comps. 2 losses, 2 draws in our last 5. No Premier League wins for us since Leicester, and that was a month and a half ago, so that's awesome. The point against Bournemouth, I mean, it helped us, right? It's better than a loss, but at the same time, we're still in 15th. and it's just the way it is. So we are still above Spurs, though, so get fucked, Ange. The best we can get this season, though, I think is going to be like 51 points. And that's if we win all 4 of our remaining games. So it doesn't really help us in the long run. But a string of poor results, and we could finish 17th this season. We could literally finish just above relegation. So awesome. Let's see what you guys are saying. Liner says, I watched it for the first time 2 months ago. That was my life for a bit. Great show. Nice. Talking about Sopranos. Yeah, I just couldn't get into it. I don't know why. I hope I don't lose any subscribers. I'll give Sopranos another shot. I just couldn't get into it. Maybe it's, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like some of the acting isn't the greatest in that show, but what are you going to do? I only made it through like 6 or 7 episodes so far, but Saeed, big up. Hope you're doing well, man. He wants Bayindir. Is Bayindir fit? I don't know if Bayindir's fit, but we are going to go through that starting 11. You guys can pick him if you want, but I don't know if he's going to be fit. So what can we expect to see from Brentford? Well, going to see a lot of Mbeumo. Obviously, he's a name that we've discussed many times. I know a lot of you would definitely take him. He can play a variety of positions, and I think in this, similar to Cunha, he can play up top. He can play in the 10, but I think Mbeumo could also play in that right wing-back spot. But Damsgaard is having a pretty good season. Schade is also having a really good season. Wissa, they're all threats. They've got multitude of attacking threats. So we really going to need to be on our toes, keep our heads on a swivel, communicate. Don't rush in to try to make challenges rashly. In those players, the Bees have their speed, they've got their chance creation, they've got their finishing and their power, their pace, all of it they've got in those front 4. They can be very difficult to break down to Brentford. They do employ a bit of a man-marking press. They like to press high up the pitch. Like Bournemouth, like Wolves, like Forest, et cetera, Brentford plays similar style. They rely on winning the ball high up the pitch. They rely on those quick transitions off the ball. They make themselves very difficult to break down. Sometimes they'll sit back in a 4-4-2 almost. So they are going to be difficult to break down. I think against Bournemouth, though, we've shown that we could do a pretty good job of containing attacking threats. We did the same against Lyon, I thought, as well, and did very well against Bilbao as well to kind of just make ourselves difficult to break down too. So we've shown that we can do it. We just have to do it on a consistent basis. Most of our drop points, though, have been because of individual errors. Onana spilling the ball, Dorgu losing the ball, stuff like that. Defense kind of switching off. And our lack of finishing as well has cost us points. So we concede because of individual errors. We've dropped points because of the lack of finishing from most people in the squad, if I'm being honest. But problem too, though, is that Brentford also lead the league in set piece goals. So, and we know that we've been vulnerable against those this season. It's not been so bad recently, but there was a time where like a third of our goals conceded was just set piece goals alone. And like I said, Mbeumo is probably the guy you're going to need to look out for. He's got 17 goals, 6 assists in the league. He's having an absolute barnstormer of a season. I know he's the name everybody wants. He's going to be expensive. Thomas Frank did say, we talked about that yesterday, that everyone's up for sale. He knows that Brentford are a selling club. He's going to be expensive, but we'll see how he's going to go here. Everyone, Rob says, please, we can't finish 17th. That's humiliating, dude. I read earlier that we've scored more goals. Amorim's got us scoring more goals in the Europa League than he's got us scoring in the Premier League since he arrived. So there's that. Everyone's getting in their picks. Yeah, we're getting to the starting 11 here shortly. We're gonna go through that one by one. So remember your picks. Darko, big up, man. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, man. Guys are trying to get me on the Sopranos season 2. The production value goes up. I think the last episode I watched, they went to Italy or something. I don't remember. It was late when I was watching that. So what's everyone doing? Saeed says, do you think Bodo Glimt can come? I hope so. I think Saeed, it's a good question. I think and like I said in the match reaction, we were like Dylan and I was with Dylan. You guys remember Dylan. We were going to big up Dylan too. He got himself one of these shirts. Don't forget to go check these out on the UVE website. The green and gold is legit. If Bodo Glimt would have gotten another goal, I think I would fancy their chances more. But they will be at home, so you never know what could happen. But coming back from 2-goal deficit and then hoping Spurs don't score again. It's going to be down to who's fit for Spurs. Solanke could be gone. Madison could be gone. Son, I think, is coming back a little bit. We'll see. I think it's going to be down to who's fit because Bodeglimt, they have shown that they can bloody a few noses. Obviously, they got Lazio, so Teresa says 17th isn't an option for me, that is. They're going to win on Sunday 4-0. Who's going to win, us or Brentford? Darko says, how should the fans react if Amorim doesn't start Cheeto tomorrow? Well, it's a good question. You guys get your thoughts in on that. Jay says we could have scored more like 4 or 5 to seal the deal. Yeah, we definitely could have gotten a couple more, but I think that one offside, they got lucky. I don't know what Ernesto Valverde's out here talking about. Like they were they were not the better side. Yes, they pressed us and forced errors, but early on. But I didn't. Not once was I worried that we were gonna like lose or anything. We just looked good. We got control over it. When we got control, we were 10 times better than they were on the day. Danny says Mount coming on. Yeah, he did. We talked about that. He was a little overzealous. He was definitely not clicking with his teammates. He was all over the place. He came in and he played the way like I would have wanted him to play had he started the match. Like that's how you start a match, not when you're 3-0 up and we're trying to keep control of the ball. Because if he keeps gifting away possession like that, I mean, he takes himself out of the game with his energy, we could easily concede a counterattack. So Larry says that AstroTurf. I don't diss AstroTurf. That's what I pretty much play on regularly around here. But there's a really cool park around the corner from me. Full-size field, outdoor, free, but it's all AstroTurf. And yeah, you can knock it, but I don't like wearing outdoor boots a whole lot. It kind of feels sometimes like I'm wearing stilts. But I'm too old to go get different types of boots for different types of grass. So it is what it is. Darko says, Sean, were we lucky on Thursday night? We were definitely not lucky. We were absolutely the better side on Thursday. We suffered about 15 to 20 minutes of high press, and we did make a lot of sloppy passes, and we did do that. But once we kind of got into things, and I don't know what Valverde's on about. Like we'd scored and stuff before they even got the red card, so I don't know what his problem was. But so it had less to do with 10 men and just more to do with, again, what have I've said this many times, and I'm not the only person who said this. I've seen other people say it too. Like English sides, even crap English sides like United right now, and as how like lacking physicality we are against other English sides in the Premier League, you're still probably going to be more physical than anyone you're going to play in Europe. So that makes the difference. We've seen a lot of English sides go pretty deep right now. Chelsea are going pretty deep. Aston Villa went pretty deep. Arsenal are obviously still in it. We're in it. Spurs are still in it. If you can out physical these European sides, even if you're a poor English side domestically. So I don't think we were lucky. We were very, very good. But to answer your question, you have good questions, Darko. Let's talk about Amorim and what he's had to say about team selection. So he said already that Mezraoui is going to miss this one. Apparently he's on the edge or the verge or the limit or whatever he said with injuries. I read too that Mezraoui didn't even travel with the squad. So Mezraoui just getting kind of a full rest before we host Bilbao on Thursday. Amorim also said that anyone in a similar kind of at that threshold as far as injury risk goes, they're probably not going to play, not going to be risked. He did add, however, that we are still Manchester United and we are expected to go out and we are expected to play and set up and believe that we can win no matter if the season's done or not. So I think we're going to see a healthy mix of youngsters and, quality first teamers. So it's tough though to pick a side. You want key players to stay fit. You don't want to risk anyone because, yes, it is Europa League or bust. But you also don't want to risk some of these players coming back from injury so soon. Let's be honest. I'm just talking about Ahmad here. Obviously, he came on for about 10 minutes against Bilbao. Did very, very well, but it is still fresh. Now, he and De Ligt did travel to Brentford for this one, so I'm sure we're going to see them get a little bit of minutes. Anyone guess if they're going to start or not. I really wish we could rest Bruno a bit more than we have as well. He is getting older. He is pretty much the linchpin of our side right now. He's the one you rely upon for everything. That says more about the rest of the squad, though. But, until Ahmad is fully fit, we don't have anyone else besides Bruno who can make something happen on the pitch. So we do going to have to rely upon him. The best I can expect is to maybe start strong against Brentford, bring off the main guys against maybe in the second half to let them get some rest. But you guys know I always prefer to start strong. I'd love us to just play the kids, but I think that, Amos, Fredrickson, Kone, Cheeto, Montato, Morehouse, Comison, play them all. Just throw them all in there and let them do it. But again, where's that line between saving players for Europa League and then keeping them fresh? But I want you guys to help me out here. We're going to pick a side right now. Let's see what we got going in here. Let's get to the starting 11. That's where we're going now. So we are going to pick a starting 11 here. Let me put this back on the screen so you guys can see what I'm seeing here. A little bit. So starting with keeper, who do you guys want for keeper? Now I know let's try to keep it realistic because I don't know if I think Heaton is maybe back fit. I don't know if Bindier is fit 100%, so we'll see. But Said wants to get into it. So we're going to start with a blank canvas here. There we go. Computers. You guys know that I'm really not good with computers, so there we go. I got it. All right, so there, am I back now? Is that better? Give me a thumbs up if I'm back. Cool. Sorry, that was my bad. I accidentally the mouse pad on my streaming laptop is very sensitive, and so if I accidentally hit something, it removed me from the scene. So we're back now. So keeper, who are we going for keeper? You guys, can I just put Onana in there? Or is it a point? Is there a point in asking for Bindier? We're gonna throw Onana in there just because it's pretty much what we can expect. Center backs, 3 center backs to choose from. Who are you guys going for? Now your options are probably going to be De Ligt, Lindelof, Euro, Maguire, and Fredrickson, most likely. I don't know if Heaven is fit enough to travel. I think Kukonki could probably be in the squad, but we haven't really seen him get any minutes. So who are we going for in terms? Danny says Harrison. Well, I didn't get a Harrison thumbnail, so I'm not going to be able to put him in there. No, we'll put them all together, and then I'll show you guys your starting 11. Saeed's going for Fredrickson, Shaw. Forgot about Shaw. Mazraoui didn't travel, though, Saeed, so I won't be able to pick Mazraoui for this one, unfortunately. Danny says Fredrickson, De Ligt, Lindesoft. Is that who you think is going to get picked, or is that who you'd like to pick? So far, a couple of you guys are going with Fredrickson. I'm just going to put Fredrickson in there to start. I'm going to put him in on that left-hand side. I don't use like FootMob or anything for this. I do this all on my own, so it doesn't look, you can't see it in real time. So you guys are all saying Fredrickson. Shaw could actually be in with a shout for that left wing-back spot, although I would like to see Harry Amos in there. But so you guys are going Fredrickson. Is Fredrickson left-footed or is he right-footed? Can't remember now off the top of my head. Danny says, think he gets picked. De Ligt could start. Could it be too soon for De Ligt? Could be interesting. Lindelof, Euro, Fredrickson. A couple of you guys said Lindelof, so I'm going to go ahead and put Lindelof in there on that right-hand side. Now, do we think Lindelof goes in on the right, or do we think he goes in on the center? He's played in the center before when he's come in for Maguire. Both. Cool. De Ligt maybe start. All right. So a couple of you guys have said De Ligt. I'll go De Ligt as well. We'll put De Ligt in the the center of that. We'll put Fredrickson on the left. We'll put Lindelof on the right. I've seen worse pairings. So let's move on to the wingbacks. Left wing back, right wing back. What are we looking at? Danny wants Amas and Montato, just going full youth. Interesting. I think Amas probably will get a start on the left-hand side. But I don't know, is it too soon for Montato, do you think? Do we think Dorgu might get pushed off to the right-hand side? It's completely up to you guys. I'm going with the majority in what I see here. So maybe we'll do a poll in the in the chat here. Let me try this. Oops. There we go. Let you guys pick a left wing back spot real quick. Leinart says Harry over at the right-hand side. Danny thinks Dorgu needs some rest. So far, you guys are splitting it down the middle, 50-50. Just two of you. Amas or Shaw. I actually threw Shaw because you guys didn't pick Shaw for the center back, but Amorim has stated that he does think that Shaw provides a lot in that left wing back spot here. Rob says Van Buemo's playing going to be tough for both. I do agree, though, that Dorgu probably needs a little rest. I just don't know how much rest we can afford to give right now. Danny says, I want Montato or Camson. So, Amas. Yeah. So, I'm gonna throw Amas on there. I'm going to end the poll real quick. Linestar says pick Shaw. So it's up to you guys. You gotta plead your case. It's kind of like playing apples to apples. You gotta let them know, but make sure it worked for a change. All right, I'm gonna go Amas on the left. You guys, let me know who you want for that right wing back spot here. While I go put on Amas. So plead your case. Right wing back spots. Who are we gonna have? Maybe Dorgu, maybe Montato, maybe Kamasin. Let me go find Harry Amas and put him in here so you guys can see what you're working on. Then I'll show you my 11 too after we're done so you guys can compare them a little bit. It says no. Oh boy. Yeah, who do you guys want on that right-hand spot? Saeed says Garnacho. So you want Garnacho as a right wing back. That's interesting. Garnacho probably needs the rest as well. He's another one of those who probably could do with a rest. He's been playing a lot of minutes. Camison, you guys are kind of convincing me of Camison. I would like to see Camison. You guys know how much I love Camison. He's been excellent. And it says, want to win your right wing back, Montato. We could put Harry Maguire on the right wing. He was better there. No, I'm gonna pick Camison. You guys have seen enough Camisons out there. Bring on Ahmad for 10 minutes. Yeah, Ahmad. You've seen Amorim is pretty careful when it comes to reintroducing. He will kind of give it 10 minutes here and then maybe like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and then he'll do a little bit more and maybe a little bit more. So Leinart says, I would love Camison. Okay. So I threw out Amas and Camison. We went full youth on the right hand, on the wing back. So pivot. Who's going in the pivot? Your options are Ugarte, Casemiro, Bruno, perhaps, Eriksson, Kobe Mainu, Sekou Kone, Tyler Morehouse. You got options out here. I don't know if Collier's fit. He was on grass, but he wasn't with the squad, I don't think. So I don't think Collier is ready to go. I didn't see if he traveled, though. If someone let me know if Collier did travel. If he traveled, maybe there's a chance. But Teresa's got her picks. Eriksson and Mainu. So we've got a vote for Eriksson, a vote for Mainu. Saeed says Mainu. Some people are... So this is the pivot, remember, not the 10s. This is the midfield pivot, the deeper role. Couple votes for Mainu so far. Mainu, Eriksson, Kone, and Mainu. So Mainu definitely looks like he's getting in. For everyone has listed him so far. So I'm going to put him in there. All right, so I've seen a couple votes for Eriksson. We've got one vote for Kone. That's a lot of youth. That's wing backs, center back, and a pivot of young players. Kone. This is the last chance. We got Eriksson. A couple votes for Eriksson in there. Lionheart's still crying about Shaw. Let's see who else we're gonna put in there. Let me see what this looks like when I refresh. All right. I'll add this so you guys can see. This is what we're working with so far. So this is your pick so far. We're trying to pick this right pivot spot. Danny says bring on Kone towards the end of the game with Ugarte. Yeah, Ugarte could do a lot to come in. So two of you, I've seen a couple of people in here say Eriksson. So I'm going to go ahead and put Eriksson in that pivot for you guys. Once I find him, hold on. There he goes. I forgot he doesn't really have hair anymore. So I'm always looking for like the spiky early 2000s haircut when I look for Eriksson, and he's not in there. All right. 10s. What are you guys thinking for those 10s? Oops. There we go. So far we've got Onana, Fredriksson, De Ligt, and Lindelof, Amos, Kamason on that right wing back, and then Mainu and Eriksson in the midfield. Rob says he who dares wins. Delboy and SAS. Is Delboy is that one of the guys from the Horses show? What's that show called? Something about horses. I remember Beckham listing it, and Delboy was a name I heard him mention. Again, I don't know what that is. So who we put in those 10s though? So your options are going to be Bruno, Garnacho, and maybe even Montato. Not a whole lot of options, honestly. Maybe Ahmad, if you guys felt like Ahmad's ready to get a start here. Oh, that's what it's called. Only Fools and Horses. All right, I'll have to look that up. Is that like another soap opera? Oh, I forgot about Mason Mount too. Good shout, Danny. Forgot all about Mason Mount. I don't think I have a Mason Mount thing up here. Hold on, I'll find one. Completely forgot about Mount. Yeah, get your thoughts in on this pivot. Mount came on. He looked like he had that fire late on against Bilbao. If he could come in and start and bring that same kind of energy, that would be perfect. That's exactly what you want from him, right? What are we seeing here? Maybe Morehouse. Yeah, Morehouse is a good shout. We got a lot of youngsters though. Just FYI, I don't know if we want that much youth in a Premier League match because it's going to be. We need some experience, and I think Eriksson does help in that regard. Danny says, "I love his ball progression." Yeah, Morehouse is very, very good. All right, let me make sure I got a Mount thumbnail. I don't know where my Mount thumbnail went. I had one, and maybe I deleted it by accident. So Danny's listed Mount and Garnacho. Get your thoughts in real quick. I'm just editing on my end real quick so I can throw this up here. Don't mind me. Now is the time to get your picks in for this pivot. Bruno, says Saeed. Mount and Bruno would be interesting. What do you guys like that? You guys like that pivot? Mount Garnacho, I go with. Bruno. Saeed, who's your other one besides Bruno? I want to get some votes here. So Mount Garnacho. So we're just going to go. We're going to run Garnacho into the ground here. Obi up front. Yeah, I think Garnacho he's looking better, and then he's not at the same time in some regards, if that makes sense. Bruno and Garnacho. So we got a couple votes for Garnacho. Let me put it in the chat here. Let me get you guys going here. I'm going to start a poll. Who starts next to Garnacho? Bruno, Mount. All right, I'm going to let you guys duke it out. Saeed's throwing Ahmad out there as a late shout here. No one else to play. It's a disgrace. Danny says no one else to play. Yeah, this is where we are, man. We're dropping like flies. We spoke about that when Xerxes went off injured. Dallo went off injured. Like, it's just Teresa says maybe Mount will only get 30, 35 minutes to stay fresh for Thursday. Mount should be fresh by now, though, right? He's been back for like a month. I feel like he should be good to go. Rob says Mainu be gutted, play next to Eriksson means he's got to cover twice as much ground. That is true. You're right. I think it's just a matter of keeping people fresh. I don't think we're going to win personally when we'll get there. Lanchar says, hear me out. Hoyland in the 10. Uh-oh. I'll let you guys come after him. Cunha, we don't have him yet. Let me see who you guys voted for here. 75% of you say Mount. Only 4 votes. Get your votes in. Bruno will probably get minutes. Teresa, I don't know if Bruno. I really don't even know if Bruno needs to start this one, honestly. He could just literally come off the bench and just to get his legs fit a little bit. Danny says maybe in a 2 with Obi Mount behind him. Linehearts, don't mind that. Okay, I'm going to throw Mount in because you guys are going full Mount on here. So let me go find his photo, and I will put him on there. I like this a little better. I can move things around a little bit. Do we need to argue about number 9? I think we all kind of have our pick for that one, right? We all kind of know who we want to play in that number 9 role for this one. Do I need to do a vote, or are we just all going to want Cheeto to start? Can I just say we want Cheeto to start? That's who I'm starting. Maybe I'll just pick. Saeed says, Bournemouth beating Arsenal. Nice. Oh, let's check the score. Doing the Lord's work out here, Saeed. What do we got going on here? 2-1. Dang, with only like 15 minutes left to go. Dude, how good has Declan Rice been this season, though, for Arsenal? Seriously, though. Cheeto to start for me. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and put Cheeto in there. I think that Hoyland can come on later on, I think, and do just fine. But I think it's time for Cheeto to get that full debut. I think it's time for him to just go ahead and play. Let me go ahead and do this. I will refresh that in a second here, you all. All right. Cheeto. Saeed says Hoyland. Mags. It's a good shout, right? Herodona, get him in there. I think we've had more. I think we've had plenty of votes for Cheeto. I think Danny said early on as well. I think a lot of people were going for Cheeto here. I can do the poll if you want me to. Do I need to do the poll? I can do the poll. I'm going to end this other one real quick. I'll give you guys a fair shot. Democracy. Oops. Cheeto or Hoyland. All right, you guys duke it out. May the odds be ever in your favor. Lionheart says Cheeto also playing as the 12th man. I mean, I think it's time for Cheeto to start. It's not. This isn't me saying that Hoyland's been poor. You guys know I waved the Hoyland flag for a while. I've been very critical of Hoyland, but I think that it's just a matter of keeping Hoyland fit, keeping him hungry a little bit. I don't mind that he's looking better in some regards, and again, similar to Garnacho, he's not looking like he's developing in other areas. So it is what it is. There's not really much to ask for at this rate. There's not really much to try to change at this point when it comes to individuals and whatnot. It's too late. 4 matches left. What else are we going to do? So, all right, most of you are going with Cheeto, so I'm just going to leave it at that. So this is your starting 11 that you guys have kind of voted on here. So big up yourselves there, you guys. How do you feel about that? So you got Cheeto. You guys wanted Cheeto in the 9. You want Garnacho and Mount in behind, and that's a lot of good legs, a lot of good energy. You guys went full youth on the wings with Amos and Kamasen getting his debut as well. Full debut for Kamasen too. Manu and Eriksson in the pivot. Now that pivot isn't very physical. Eriksson is, in my opinion, a bit of a liability, but it is what it is. You guys want Fredrickson, Lindelof in the defense, and then with Onana starting in there. I meant he's on the board twice. Where is he at? Oh, I didn't even see him over there. You're right. I didn't even see him over there off to the side. I hit copy paste on that, and then I was like, I think I did not see that it pasted over there. Good call. I did not see that over there. Look at you correcting me. So that's your guys' 11. This is my 11 that I picked to start. Very similar defense, pretty much the same in the back four. Fredrickson, DeLitt, Lindelof, Onana, and then I did start Amos on the left like you guys did, but I did end up giving Dorgu a start on the right just because you guys know I do like to start strong. I ended up starting Bruno, but I put him in a pivot role to kind of let him dictate. And then you can see I've actually started Kone this in my starting 11. I think that Kone next to Bruno could be a good little partnership, not because I'm like, oh, you're going to compliment, but with a youngster coming in, having Bruno there to kind of lead and dictate, I thought maybe could work. Plus, I think Kone is ready as well. And then I put Cobby and Eriksson. You guys had them in your pivot. I actually put them in my 10s. I think that putting Eriksson high up the pitch means he's going to have to do a little less running. And then Cobby's actually been playing in that 10 role recently, and he's actually looked pretty dangerous in that 10 role. So, and then I still went with Cheeto to start because it's time. I think it's just time. So that's my 11. This was your guys' 11. Again, back four, exactly the same. Amos, the same. I just kind of went a little bit more energy with Kone, experience with Bruno, and then I just decided to stay stronger with Dorgu. There's no reason. I mean, Dorgu's been playing a lot, but I mean, you guys know I like to start strong. So, but that you guys, I mean, it's a pretty good starting 11 from you guys. I think both could maybe get the job done. I don't know if I still back us to win this, but pretty good starting 11. So, but now's the time for score predictions. So get in your thoughts, your predictions for the score. Sorry, I'm really tired. Did not sleep well last night. Liner says Kone would be nice. I always appreciate it when someone spells it that way. Teresa says it's hard predicting the team tomorrow as we really don't know who's available. At least I have no idea, but look forward to seeing the lineup. Yeah, we know for sure Mizraoui's not going because he said as much. Saeed says it's going to be 4-0 Brentford. So I do agree that I think Brentford are going to win. My prediction is 2-1 Brentford. I just don't think that I think that we're just going to rotate a little too much. And again, I think that the league is just done. We can't score goals. And all that does when you can't score a goal in the match, all that does is put more and more pressure on your defense. And then it's just harder. And then one mistake again, it's just Fredrickson and Amos held their own, I thought, against Bournemouth and Newcastle, but it is what it is. I think we're going to rotate heavily, like I said, which means you're also going to have a lack of familiarity with each other and then with the system and whatnot. And then we're also playing a very well-drilled Brentford side too. So there's a lot going against us, but you never know on a given day. Lionheart is going 1-0 United. Lionheart's always got the optimism. You guys know that. But yeah, get your score predictions in. Like I said, I'm going 2-1 Brentford. Saeed's going 4-0 Brentford. Lionheart's going 1-0 United. Teresa's going 4-0 United. There you go. Look at you go. I'm still holding out hope, too, for maybe at some point back-to-back league wins before the season ends, but I think we might have left it a little too late for that sad little goal. It's sad that we have not yet put together back-to-back league wins this season, like, at all. I think Amorim has had, 6 wins in the league since he joined late November. Really not good. Rob says, do prefer Manu and Eriksson further forward. Yeah, that's just what I picked. I think Kone's got a little bit more physicality and energy, even then like Manu in that deeper role. I think when you guys watch Kone, like I don't know if you watch a whole lot of the academy. We watch a lot of the academy here on the channel. He's got a lot of energy. So Rob's back and Teresa pick up. Teresa says, I'm not playing it safe. Amorim coaches a win. Well, I hope you're right. Again, this is just my prediction. The heart and the head, the battle, the ongoing battle. City and Ipswich did us a favor this weekend, meaning we could jump to 13th if we win. So awesome. 13th, right? It sounds sad that I'm talking about it like 13th is where we want to get to. Lose this one, however, and Spurs could actually leapfrog us. And like I said, keep losing and we could finish the season in 17th. I don't want to. I would love it if we finished above Spurs. If we both get to the final, if it's an all English Europa League final, I don't want us to gift Spurs their first trophy. I don't want us to help Ange keep his job. I want us to be the ones that get him sacked. So we'll see. But what we got here? Rob says 3-all thriller. Hopefully Thomas Frank isn't bragging about how easy it is to play against us. Like, dude, Thomas Frank he's such a little whinge, man. Like, I remember when we beat him, was it under Ollie? He was complaining about something. Like, the guy is he's miserable. Leonard says 3-3 is also a good shout. I think they've got goals. I just don't know where our goals come from because unless Harry Maguire or Bruno are playing, I don't see us scoring a lot of goals. So don't forget, too, tomorrow it's Manchester Derby for the women's team, and it is their penultimate league fixture. That kicks off a couple hours before our match, so it should be done and dusted before our match kicks off. So Chelsea have already won that league, but it is a big 6-pointer for United. There's still a Champions League spot up for grabs for the women's team. So if you guys are awake, I don't know if it's on MUTV though. I'd have to check. But it is a Manchester Derby. So big up the women's team as well. They are holding it down for us too. Rob says Brentford might be on the beach with this UK heat wave in mid-table. I don't even know if they have any hopes of going too high up the table, honestly. Danny says 2-1 United. So a lot of you guys going through it. I'm sorry, Saeed and I mean, we're just miserable, man. We're predicting a loss. I didn't go as heavy on the loss as Saeed did, but I did still predict a loss. But hopefully we'll be back talking about a win. I'd love to be proven wrong. I've been proven wrong several times recently, so it is what it is. But that is going to do it for me on this preview. I do enjoy getting involved with you guys, letting you guys pick that starting 11 was fun. Let me know if you guys want to do more of that in the future. Please hit that like button for me. Please subscribe if you are new. Check out memberships. Check out GoGoalShop. Check out the UVE store if you want to get your hands on some cool gear like this that I'm wearing right now. The green and gold logo is awesome. Leinart says Thomas Frankenweiner has charged. I always thought he was chill, but now he's a bit of a poop. Yeah, he has changed a little bit. Dude, Jay, if Bodo Glimt can come back and get something against Spurs and knock them out, that would be hilarious. It would a little bit like us to be the ones that beat them in the final, but at the same time, you never know what can happen in the final. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Richard, welcome back, Richard. Richard, man, guy has been a long-time United supporter. He's telling us a little bit the other day about he was at the 68 final and whatnot. So that's awesome that you were able to see that. That's really cool. But big up, Richard. Good to see you again, my friend. Hope you were doing well on the Saturday. But thank you guys again. Like the video, subscribe if you are new. I will see you guys maybe tomorrow. It's really going to depend on schedule. Usually it's Monday, but since the game is earlier tomorrow, I could see you guys tomorrow. So until then, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Whatever you happen to watch the game tomorrow, enjoy it, be safe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take it easy.